Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be working on a 98 Subaru Legacy. It has a 2.2 EJ22 in it. We're going to be doing cam seals. We got some rear struts. I even found an old exhaust off of a side-by-side. We're going to see if we can weld it up. So let's go grab it and take a look. So the only reason we're doing cam seals on this Subaru is I drive this to work every day. And I've already had the engine out twice. We've done head gaskets, timing belt, all kinds of other stuff. Done a lot to this car already. But when I put the engine in last time, I fixed the oil pump. There was a front main seal leaking real bad. I fixed that. And then I fixed the rear main as well. And when I did that, the car all of a sudden had oil pressure, and then it blew all the other weak seals out. So basically it blew out the cam seals. So it just leaks an absurd amount of oil all over the exhaust at all times. So when I get somewhere, there's just steam, or not steam, but smoke billowing out of the hood, and it doesn't look real good. So we're gonna fix it. So let's check it out. Let's get this hood open. All right, so basically, we're just getting this light finished up here. I don't have no fancy snap-on lights and none of that stuff, so this is a, oh wow, I just cut that, didn't mean to, whatever. This is the best alternative, and it never dies, you know, you never have to plug it back in, or recharge it, I mean. You always have to plug it in because it's corded, but. So, our plan here is we're going to take the whole front of the engine apart again for like the 300th time. Let's dive in here and check it out. So this is the EJ22 2.2 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine by the wonderful Subaru. One of the longest Japanese running engine lines right here too. If you guys didn't know that. So ignore the power steering leak because that's not happening. You're not seeing that. So basically, there's a seal. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you guys all the way down there. We'll get down there with a flashlight. There's a seal basically behind that bolt right there, right in the back here, that is leaking profusely. Actually, it's already, just from pulling the car in here, it's already put a drip on the ground. So let's go down there and get a better look. So basically, right back in there, there's a little rubber seal that I'll show you guys what it looks like out here. But back there, but as you can see, it is coated everything. Just an absurd amount of oil. So we're gonna have to get that addressed, and it just leaks down and right back there on the exhaust, and not ideal. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a quick run through of what we're going to be putting on this 98 Legacy today. This is just going to be the first rendition of many upgrade videos. The plan is to do a full WRX swap all the way through, but I daily this car, so I just want to make it better than what it is currently. So like I said, we need to fix the cam seal leak. That's like first priority because this car's just leaking oil like crazy. Second is the rear struts are shot. So we got some whole new strut here. These look ginormous, so I don't know. But this is just for now. This was like $150 for both of those struts. We're going to end up putting BC coilovers on this eventually. And then also, this is an exhaust that I had on my RS1, my side-by-side, or half a side. I don't know. It's a one-seater. It looked cool, but man, was it obnoxious. So we're gonna attempt to cut the side-by-side, the Polaris side off, and see what we're gonna have to do to adapt that to this Legacy, to have a little fun with it until we do the WRX swap, because why not, right? Be like every other Subaru owner out there. So that being said, I'm gonna jack the car up about a mile because I have a bad back, and we're gonna start probably by pulling the radiator. We're going to drain the radiator and then start taking off some stuff here so we can get to those cam gears. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we got the coolant drain in there. Got a little hose that I thought was going to work. It kind of is, but whatever, it's working. So, like I said, we got to take all this off. We don't have to, but it's a lot easier to do it. So I'm going to pull the radiator out here. Radiator is going to go first. We're going to pull this hose off. Pull the lower radiator hose off, which is down there. And then this whole assembly will come off. We are probably going to take the serpentine belts off, the V-belts, and we're probably going to pull the harmonic balancer off in order to get the cover off here so we can get the timing belt off. Oops, excuse me. And then once we have the timing belt off, we should be able to take those bolts out and pull that off, hopefully. So, like I said, we're doing it on both sides. We got to do that one too, but we're going to start dismantling everything here as soon as the coolant's done, and we'll go from there. Now we're going to start taking stuff apart. This is the fun part. But I mean, yes, it's the fun part, but you also need to pay attention to where things go. Subaru is like a giant Lego, so it's pretty easy to do things like this if you've never done it before. Sorry, I'm just over here cleaning my bench off. So we're going to take this beauty cover off first, 10 millimeters all the way across. Pretty easy. There's supposed to be one right here, but yeah, I went too fast one time and it fell off. So put that over here. This is a 12 right here. This is going to be on your actual alternator bracket itself. There we go. I don't want to take the alternator off, but it looks like the nut fell off the back there because I got too excited. So now I'm not going to be able to reach it. So, you know, this is what makes for good entertainment, right? This is what you guys want to see, is watch some guy struggle. Wow, that's really in there. Okay. All right, well, we're going to get that in a minute. We're going to probably get that off camera, honestly, because you guys probably don't want to hear the language I'm going to use. So, we're going to take, that's also, there we go. Take that off. All I'm doing here is I loosen the alternator bolt, which is right here. It's 12 millimeter. And then I'm just running this big piece of thread here, this big bolt, to push the alternator down to make the power steering alternator belt loose. It's basically... There we go. Then the alternator belt should just fall off. Well, bam. All right. Now we're going to get the AC belt off. Same concept. You want to loosen this bolt down here. And then you're going to run this guy. I don't know if you guys can see that there. The reason you don't want to go full bore on these is if it gets cross-threaded or there's something in there, it'll just destroy your thread here. So just kind of do it in bursts. And then for good measure, I'm going to take this whole assembly off because I don't need it. It's going to be in my way. Also very scary, there's a coolant bucket directly under me right there. So something's going to get dropped in that. I can promise you that. So we're going to get these parts on the bench here. I believe while we're in here too, I got to put a new gasket in that AC line, so we might do that. All right. So now we're going to spin the motor over to top dead center. I have some marks on my cam gears here, so we're going to spin it over, get it to top dead center, and then we will pull the harmonic balancer off. We will pull the cover off, which isn't on there by much because my cover is completely destroyed. So let me go find a socket for that. All right, so we're going to run a 7/8. Don't tell no one I'm running a 7/8 on a Subaru, but I don't have a 22 in this size, so. And there she goes. Got to make sure we don't run it off too far. We can't get our tool out here. There we go. Now, I'm going to jump in there with a ratchet. Grab one. There we go. All right, we got the harmonic balancer bolt out right there. And then in theory, I've had this thing off so many times that, yep, she just wiggles right out, just like that. And then we're just going to set this on the bench and pull our cover off. Should be 10mm bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what, guys? I think we're going to have to get on the bottom side of the car to get the other 2. Pull this cover off. Bada bing, bada boom. My cover's seen better days. So now that we got everything apart, we can really get a better visual of what's going on down here. So I'm going to just end up pulling this tensioner off, just straight off. And then we will reset the little pin out here in a C-clamp. And then we're also going to take this roller off down here, and that'll allow this to be freed up. So we'll do that real quick. I believe those are 14s. We'll see. They might be a 15. Definitely. Nope, what am I doing here? Definitely a 14. Yeah, looky there. There we go. So there's the tensioner. Now we're going to get that roller off. 14 as well. Alright. Now, this is a brand new kit. Less than probably 5,000 miles on this. And I'm noticing on quite a few of these bearings. Let's see if you guys can see all that. Do you see all that in there? That's odd. It's like the grease is being pushed out of it or something. I think the let's see, is this one doing it too? Yeah, look, this one's doing it too. That's weird. Anyways, let's get back to it. Those are brand new. I'm not really worried about them, but so now go ahead and pull this belt off just to get it out of our way. Kind of want to hold that cam gear. You don't want it spinning all over the place, because that's no fun. Wiggle off. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your cam gear. All right, now that you guys can get down in here. There we go. Hopefully it'll focus. But right down in there, you can see there's just oil puddled up right there. And it's all super shiny clean right here because the oil leaks so bad. So we'll go ahead and see about popping that seal out. We're going to take a note on how far that seal has been driven in there, though. Looks to be pretty far. So we'll make sure to take a mental note of that. And yeah, go from there. Let's so just real quick, we're going to use, I'm just using the Right Stuff gasket maker, the 90-minute, just the gray stuff. It doesn't really matter as long as it's oil resistant silicone. So we're going to get a little bit. You don't want a whole lot. See if our nozzle might be plugged here, so we're just going to go straight to the source. There we go. So yeah, like I said, you want to put just a little bit of silicone on the outside. I'm talking a little bit. Just like that there. Just enough that when it does mate, it's almost like a glue. But in the process of getting in there, it acts like a lubricant because it's kind of slick, you know. All right. That should be plenty there. So now, for this is the engine oil we're using in this car, we're going to put a little engine oil on the inside here to help lubricate that shaft until the actual oil gets there. So there you go. That is a prepped cam seal. Let's go throw it in the car. Okay. Goes in just like that. Now, take our special seal pusher. All right, that looks pretty good to me. There we go. All right, we're going to give that a little bit to set up. We're going to pull this one apart. I'll just put you guys on a quick time lapse for that, and we'll go from there. Well, you can definitely tell I am new to the filming world. Multiple times during this video, my remote microphone just decided to stop working, or I didn't have it connected, or it died, or who knows. But basically what we're doing here is taking this deal here off of the camshaft on the driver's side of the head. And once you just kind of pop it loose, you take a wrench and you just pop off you'll see it, there's a little square bolt insert right where I have the pry bar. And you just kind of pry right there real gently and it'll pop that O-ring off. Takes me a minute to figure it out, but you can rotate it. My best advice would be just to rotate it a little bit and then pop it off with the pry bar. You kind of got to get the pry bar in a good prying location and then it comes right off. Just like that. I make sure to spray it all out with brake clean before I start doing this, just to make sure the area is clean. And then we're going to go ahead and put a new O-ring gasket on that and throw it back on. Just like that. Super easy. And then when you go to put it on, just you don't want to line it up with the bolt holes immediately. You kind of want to rotate it in there. Also, put oil on the shaft and the O-ring before you slide everything on. You don't want everything going on dry. You could risk breaking the gasket. So yeah, there you go. You can kind of see me twisting it over there. And then really, you can tap it on with a dead blow or something. I basically just let the bolts suck it down. But once you get it all lined up right there, just run the bolts in and the bolts will tighten it all down. I also did the cam seal while that device was out because that's where the cam seal is in that device. So that's how I did that side. It was much easier. Well, off camera, go figure, we had a Healy coil malfunction. A Healy coil that I've already put in this car a couple times ago. Let's go check out where it is. So we're working right down here where the idler goes into the block. And I've already Healy coiled that, but I guess I didn't put a Loctite on it, so it kind of just popped right out of there. So we got our tensioner all safetied up there. It's ready to go. I just got to throw a new Healy coil in there, but that's okay. I have this big fancy kit right here. We're going to go ahead and grab another Healy coil. Then I'm going to grab some thread locker. We're going to put it on there pretty thick and go ahead and screw it in there. We're going to check the threads real quick. But yeah, should be quick and easy. After a whole bunch of unnecessary commotion, we finally got it back together. Let's jump down there and talk about it. So originally what had happened is our tensioner bolt, I'd already Healy coiled it one time. The Healy coil completely failed. So I'd put another Healy coil in it, and then the bolt got messed up. And then both the bolts I tried to put in it were getting messed up. I'm not sure, but we got it tight. We got it in there. And then I was having some trouble getting the cam gears to line up. But all said and done, pretty easy job. We got everything back in, coolant's in. I'm going to throw you guys on the tripod and we're going to see if this thing fires up. So let's get to it. All right. I didn't even think I unplugged the battery on this. Nope, I didn't. All right. Here we go. Fired up quite nice. Seems to be running pretty good. Let's get a light here. Well, so far so good. I think that smoke's just coming from residual. I'm gonna hop under the car here and see if I see anything. Well, we're not leaking anymore like we were. Everything on the exhaust looks to be residual. Sweet, I think we cured it. Yeah, everything on the exhaust seems to be residual, so the next upgrade we need to do is a new manifold. One that's not oil stained. But I mean, it seems to sound and run pretty good. Run it down to a buddy's job, and he'll put some Freon in there for me. But yeah, I'd say that's a done deal. Let's go ahead and flip the car around and start working on that rear suspension. All right. We're going to flip this baby around real quick so we can do the back suspension. The rear struts. Oh, there we go. Got the hard done. looks like that. Kind of looks like this whole entire thing is going to fall on me once we get this stud out, so that should be fun. Once we get this bolt out, I mean. So we got the strut all the way out, the old strut. Now we're going to get the new one loaded in there. Let's take a better look at these guys. Let's see, not this box here because we already put that strut in. These were pretty nice. They look very similar to factory. Very, very similar. Let's see. Let's get a factory strut up here. Really, the only difference I can see is, yeah, this here, this boot is a lot different. Other than that, they look relatively the same. This is what it looks like once we got it all in there. Kind of dumb design. You have to take the brake line all the way off the caliper to snake it through that hole, and then you can put it back on. So that means I have to bleed the brakes. So that's not going to be very fun. So let's show you guys up on a time lapse real quick and throw this thing in. Well, as you can see here, we've got the brake line reinstalled. We've got the brake clip reinstalled there. We have the full strut. Everything's in. Both our 19 millimeter bolts are tight down here. All of our 12 millimeter bolts. Actually, on the new strut, the bolt is the nut is a 13 millimeter. Those are tied up there. Everything's back together. We're gonna go ahead and bleed the brakes. It's pretty boring. I'll probably skip through that. And then I think we're probably gonna jump inside, pull the radio out, and see if we can throw a new radio in it. Yeah, we'll see you guys here in a little bit. I'm gonna just go ahead and bleed the brakes, throw the wheels on, get the car on the ground. That's all pretty boring stuff. So we'll see you guys when we're in the car. Well, we're inside the car here. We're gonna start taking some of this dash apart to get to our radio here. The only reason we're changing radios, this one works just fine. It's just not Bluetooth, and that's no fun. And we're gonna double check the sub connections. There's an amp in this car, but it's kind of sketchy. So I don't know if we're gonna trust it. Just to give you guys a little bit of an update, we got the old radio out of the car. The only thing we're going to be keeping from this setup are these side plates and this top compartment. We're going to get rid of this radio. Pretty old school. It does not have Bluetooth. That's the only reason we're changing this. This is the wiring harness that they had in the car. This goes to the factory plug. This goes to the radio. So we're going to be removing basically this whole section here. We're going to delete all that, and then we're going to put this pigtail on the new radio. I've already had this in a vehicle, but I've taken it out, so we'll be removing all this tape, and then we'll be basically mating this harness here to this harness here. And this is what the new radio looks like. It's just a little Boss, probably the cheapest radio on Amazon, but it works well. And this is just my work car, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So there's that. Let's do a quick little time lapse of building the harness. Let's go. Got it back together here, had a couple problems. Didn't quite realize I had to have this whole plastic piece here off to get the bezel to set down in there, but no problem. Here's another one of those occasions where I just don't know what I'm doing quite yet. My microphone died again, and I never caught on. So basically what I'm going to say here is we didn't quite get to the exhaust like I wanted to, but we got the cam seals done, we got the radio done, we got the struts done, and the car is basically brand new compared to what it was. If you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. We got a lot more videos coming soon, and we'll see you then. Bye.